the music, set in motion.
All right, so welcome to another episode of Words and Music with Parlor Jones, where we talk about music and the music scene and basically anything that you think pertains to music. So my guest today is Joey D. Dunlop. Joey, how are you?
Well, I'm here.
You're here.
That's a marvelous thing.
That's a good start.
Absolutely.
So we've known each other for how long now? Since 2004?
5? No, I didn't get up here until 6. No, 5.
Okay.
Maybe 5.
I started going to the jams here in Orlando in 2004. Surprisingly that far back, man.
And
then,
you still talk to me.
and still talk to you.
Wow. What's wrong with you?
I don't know. I've been told there's plenty wrong with me. And like your shirt says, undiagnosed, but something ain't right.
That's right.
Something ain't right.
And it's me that ain't right.
So, what year did you start getting into music? I mean, like from the very, very beginning, just out of curiosity. Like for me, it was 1963.
Well, let's see. We got down here in 58. I think it was 1960.
Ah,
I got my first guitar,
yeah. Bass or six string?
6-string. It was a Stella.
Oh, Stella.
Yeah. And
Acoustic, right? Acoustic or electric?
acoustic.
Yeah.
And it had black diamond strings on there. And I would play the guitar until the strings started to unwind.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen that happen, but I can imagine.
You know, what did I know back then?
I remember Stella guitars. I haven't seen one in years, but I remember they were all over the place in the 60s.
And my first electric guitar was a 1958 Telecaster
I bet you regret selling that.
with the rosewood neck.
Oh, man.
And I traded. I was working at Trudy Heller's in Palm Beach. The band that I was with, we were the top band in the area at that time, and we worked. Went over to Trudy Heller's. She was open. She had a club in New York City. Kind of like after Studio 54 went down, she was the next big thing. And so she opened the one in Palm Beach because a lot of Palm Beachers lived in New York and vice versa. And we opened the club for her. And the first 6 weeks we were there, or the first 4 weeks we were there, we worked opposite Joey D and the Starlighters. And the guitar player saw my telly and, you want to sell that? Oh, I don't know. I said, well, I've got this gold Starfire. I'll trade you even for it. And I said, okay. You know, what did I know?
Yeah.
I'm a kid. But he had come down from New York City, so I guess the value of tellys up there was completely different than what they were in South Florida.
Yeah.
And so I traded him. Starfire was an interesting guitar.
Mm-hmm.
It was a hollow body, but it was only that thick.
I don't think I've ever heard of Starfire.
Yeah.
He probably thought, is this guy kidding? He said, okay. I better jump on this while he said, okay.
Pretty much.
I had a 1962 Gibson SG in 1974, roughly, and I got rid of it back in 1977, I think, for the simple reason that the neck was too soft, and I didn't like the fact that if you just turned to look at another band member, it sounded like you had a whammy bar on a guitar that didn't have one. And I didn't like the fact that it just felt like it wasn't tunable, even though it held its tuning. But like it was equivalent to squeezing a string too hard that the frets are too high.
Right.
It was almost like that uncomfortableness. And I regret selling it now simply because that would be worth a few $1,000s, a 62 Gibson SG.
Well, I bought a 69 gold top Les Paul with the P90s,
Yeah.
the ivory colored,
Oh, yeah.
and I sold that to a guy with the understanding that if I ever wanted it back, he would sell it to me, at a fair price.
Right.
And I called him one day and he told me how much he wanted, and I scraped the money together. He wanted $1,500, and this was like maybe 4 years later, and he only paid $6 for it. So, and I still thought, okay, I'll do this. And then I get the money, and he says, no, I changed my mind. Well, guess what? About 5 years after that, he died. Karma's a bitch.
Oh, yeah.
Of course. But today,
That was a what year? A 58?
69.
Oh, 69.
Yeah. And man, it was and I don't know, I wanted to get a clavinet. That's what a Hohner D6 clavinet.
Right.
And
You remember Ace Music in Miami?
that's where I went.
Ace Music, that was the hub. They were just down the street from Criteria Recording Studio, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, funny little story about Ace Music. The band that I was with in high school, we were called the Villagers. Now, the guy that I replaced, his name was Glenn Tupper. His father invented Tupperware.
Really?
But he, made his daddy mad, so his dad was going to send him over to a private school in Switzerland. But the band, this is before I joined the band, the Beatles were the thing, and they all had box amplifiers. So they go down to Ace Music in Miami, and Daddy says, whatever you want, let them know. So he'd get everything was all matched. And then they said, wait, we don't have any way to get it home. And Daddy says, all right, go over here let me call you back. So he called him back in a few minutes, go over here to this dealership, pick out whatever you want. So he went to a Volkswagen dealership and got one of the Volkswagen buses and put all the equipment in there.
Amazing.
It was.
Yeah. So in your musical bands that you've been, I never have been in a situation where the band was touring from city to city, even if they weren't really famous or headlining for anybody else. Have you ever been in like an on-the-road situation, living out of a suitcase for more than a few weeks?
Yep.
Whoa.
And interestingly and thankful, I guess, because of music, I've either been through or worked in 28 states.
Really?
And
were you ever in the state of confusion?
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I've been all up and down the East Coast. As far west as I was Louisiana, I guess.
Which was your favorite? Well, not necessarily the favorite. Which part of that stay would you say was the most memorable? Any one particular location, scenario-wise, or thing that happened?
There was, I think probably with every city, there was something interesting.
Yeah.
And like I remember we worked in Morgantown, West Virginia, and the guitar player had to go home on an emergency, so Sunday morning, he had to go to Pittsburgh, which is, it's right there. And I rode over with him and, the other guy to drop him off. And when we went through Pittsburgh, this was like 6 o'clock in the morning. And the thing that I remember most that I considered amazing was how clean Pittsburgh was. I mean, there wasn't any garbage on the road, any trash or anything like that. And this is 6 o'clock on a Sunday morning.
Uh-huh.
That says something for the city.
Yeah, especially after a weekend of partying.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, in any of the places you've ever played, including as recently as like 2 weeks ago. Have you ever been in a situation like where Jake and Elwood had to play behind chicken wire to protect you from flying bottles and tomatoes and stuff?
Actually,
Really?
yeah.
I thought
Well-
that was just a movie scene, but that you,
The stage that for that situation, it was the bar was kind of like horseshoe shaped, and the horseshoe, the band was behind the bar, and on the edge of the bar you could see where they had cut the chicken wire off.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Serious.
Wow.
And we had 3 female singers, and then we had the band was only a trio, and one girl, she had a way of making friends, and one night there was a guy in there that he decided he didn't like me, and I said, I don't think you want to do that. And he says, oh, why not? I said, well, I might have some friends. Well, he said, really, your friends don't scare me. Okay. I went and said something to the lady, and she went over and talked to one of her friends who happened to be the head of the biker gang, and all of a sudden there's like 50 guys. And that guy, and then there was, again, the bar was a horseshoe like this, and there was this guy that used to sit there every night like this, and he had, spiral notebooks, and and he used to wear like 4 watches, and the one night the leader of the band, his wife sat next to him to try to get an idea what he's writing. Here he is writing pornographic stories about the 3 women in the band. And then about 2 weeks after that, we were up there playing one night, and he was over off in a corner, and he's got his books. And so the bar manager walked over. There he was, pounding his pud, reading the stories he'd written about the girls.
Oh, man. So, on a different note, I know that you play guitar, I know you play bass, and I know you play keyboard. Is there one that you tend to like the most to play? Or is it based on different situations?
It's based on different situations. Bass, I would have to say, is my main instrument, so naturally I enjoy playing that. But I like playing guitar, and now with this new keyboard that I have, I'm getting real excited about the Fender Rhodes piano. I really like that sound.
Yeah.
And of course this thing has a great B3 sound, and I'm still trying to fine tune that.
Right, yeah, B3 is a classic. There's nothing like the sound of a B3, except maybe a Farfisa.
Well, yeah. Well, me with doing things the way that I do things, I got to think, I wonder if Nord makes a dual manual, B3.
A dual manual?
Yeah, like a regular B3.
Oh, you mean like an upper and lower keyboard? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, why wouldn't they tell you to
They
just,
do.
why don't they, I imagine they'd say just buy 2 and set one for one sound and one for the other, or they're...
What do you mean?
Well, you mean it's 2 keyboards in one unit?
No. It's exactly like a B3.
Yeah.
Where the B3 has 2 sets of keys, one here and one here.
Right.
It's like that, 61 keys on the upper and 61 keys on the lower.
60, well, it's not 88 is full, right? 88.
But no, there's no organ. The area organ is 63. But I happened to find one that's like, uh-oh.
You still have your B3
Oh, yeah.
and the Leslie?
Yeah.
Don't you love moving those?
No.
No.
Not anymore. Nope.
So have you ever done any writing? I don't remember if you've...
I have. And we occasionally, we used to play one of the songs that I wrote. That one that I gave you my heart and you stomped that sucker flat.
Oh, yeah.
Squish.
Yeah, I didn't know that was yours.
Yeah.
Ah.
And that was an interesting story. We were playing in Stuart, Florida, and wasn't too many people in there, and there's this guy that had been sitting at the bar for probably too long, and he says, "Hey, y'all do any country?" And I said, "Oh, no, we don't." He said, "Oh, man," he said, "my favorite songs, I gave you my heart, and you stomped that sucker flat." And I said, "Yeah, well, we don't do it." He said, "Well, I was going to buy you drinks the rest of the night." And I said, "Wait a minute, what was the name of that song?" And I turned to the guys and I said, "Okay, do it like this." And that was probably, God, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm doing it the exact same way today.
That's funny. And you wrote the lyrics on the fly?
Right there, as I was, playing the song.
That's pretty good.
And, at one point, I've got this 9-piece show band. We had 4 black singers. They were called the 20th Century Coasters, and they did all the Coasters material. But then I had a really high-end 5-piece band, guitar, bass, keyboards, drums, and a chick singer. And, we'd be in, I don't care where it was, and, like the one time we were over in St. Petersburg, and there was probably 1,500 people. I mean, the capacity was that,
That's a nice size.
Yeah, it was a nice size room. And, invariably, some pencil neck comes up and says, "Hey, y'all do any country?" And I'll say, "Okay." And I said, "Well, we would do the song, but we made it audience participation."
Right.
"I gave you my heart and you stomped that sucker flat." And the whole band would stop and we would go
Squish.
Squish. And so we got the audience involved, and they're, stomping. And the next night, somebody would come up, "Hey, play that Squish song."
We should do that the next time we play together.
Hey, I'll be playing bass. We can.
Okay. All right. It's a 1-4-5, right?
1-4-5.
In A, I bet.
No, actually in G.
In G.
Don't ask me why.
Well.
That was in G.
Okay. Well, I have to remember that. Starts on the 1?
Well, it starts on the 1.
I think I remember.
Boom, that, boom, that, boom, that, boom, ah. And
Oh, well, that's actually nice. I like the fact that if you throw a lead to me, I can do it like in E pentatonic. That would work nice over a G major.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Make
But-
it sound country. Make it sound country.
Yeah. Well, the second verse is the one that always makes people scratch their head. It's, "Now every night before I go to sleep, I cry my eyes out over you. I didn't mind when he gave you the scabies, but then you gave them to me too." And what? What did he just say?
Squish.
Yeah.
All right. So since this is like a premiere kind of podcast with you and I for the first time, actually just thinking about that in this sense, we'll wrap it up. But any final closing thoughts you want to maybe direct towards the audience?
Yes. Hello, audience. Don't forget, July the 5th, the 15th anniversary of the Parlor Jones project out there at the Jolly Gator Fish Camp. Very easy to find. It's in the C.S. Lee Park on State Road 46 in Geneva. Starts at not 1 o'clock, the normal starting time. It starts at 2 o'clock. Now, you better get there early because seating is limited. It's going to be an epic, epic event.
And it's also the 250th
Anniversary of the
United
country.
States of
That's
America.
right. America. That's right.
Well, thank you very much for tuning in, and we're going to dump this all onto the hard drive and edit it and see how it turned out. And we will be back again. Thank you. Have a great day.
Hey, Bondi!